I'm Susannah Constantine and this is My Wardrobe Malfunction, the place where we start talking about our relationship with clothes and end up talking about pretty much everything else. These episodes were recorded during lockdown where we were still battling with the technology, so apologies for the crackles. You can also find them as video versions on our website at mywardmal.com. We're still doing our pyjama party, where you tell me all about your own clothing disasters. Email us at help@mywardmal.com to share your pain. And please subscribe, give us a 5-star review and follow us at mywardmal on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Right, on to our 7th new episode, recorded in May 2020. It's with entrepreneur, investor and my favourite dragon by far, Deborah Meaden. I loved her. I think you'll agree she's a million miles away from her fearsome TV persona. So let's grab the handles, open my wardrobe doors and find out what's inside. Deborah Meaden, the iconic businesswoman and dragon from the den. How are you doing?
That is quite a build-up.
Deborah.
I'm doing good, actually. My cat's just arrived. He's just jumped over the fence. I don't know. It's because I'm wearing a leopard skin scarf.
You look stunning, by the way. How are you dealing with your hair? It looks like you've got no grey, no rootage.
Well, I am blonde, so there's white. Yeah. There's white, but it doesn't show. If I go against a light background, listen, I learned everything I know from you, Susannah. If I go against the light background, you can't see it.
Look at me, fatal error. I should be listening to my own advice. We met, how many years ago was it? One and only time, didn't we? It was about 15 years ago. No, 13 years ago.
About 13 years ago. It's my early days on Dragon's Den, I think.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
12, 13 years ago, yeah. Crazy. It was I remember I had to get up really, really early in the morning. I always remember early morning starts. I am rubbish in the morning, so
yeah.
I remember those.
I'm surprised. I would have thought you'd be good in the morning.
Rubbish. Do you know, it's funny. People kind of think when you're in business, you get up and it's the early bird catches the worm. I don't get up until about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then I wander around the garden with a cup of tea, and I never have an important call or business meeting before 11 o'clock because I am rubbish.
You know what? I totally get you, because I used to be a morning person and now I'm like you. I just like that start to the day where it's my space, my time, and everyone else can just piss off. Frankly, it's that kind of, when you're in your morning bubble, it takes a while to get free from that.
I'm better. If I get that time, I'm better. I know I'm better at my job if I get that time. So I'm absolutely, adamant about it.
Yeah. So Deborah, you used to be, when you were an in-house fashion model, were you kind of like have the clothes fitted on you?
No, so it was a fashion label called Icor in Brasilia, and so buyers would come in, and I would wear the clothes to show how they moved and how they worked. But I had to be. The advert said you needed to be 5'8" or 5'9". I'm 5'2".
Yeah.
So that didn't. I worked there, but it didn't. Yeah. The modelling.
That's something that we have in common, because I did the same. I tried my hand at modelling, and the only job I got was for school shoes and foot treatment. And my feet were used for before the skull treatment, and someone else's feet were used for art.
I was going to say that's very flattering.
And that's the only paid job I got modelling. And then I worked for various designers, and like you, I was like the in-house model, and I was made to put on the clothes and wander around, and I hated it. I was so self-conscious.
Yeah. Well, I'm only 5'2". You're much taller than me, so I just didn't. They clearly weren't selling enough clothes, so they replaced me with somebody else. Put me behind a desk.
And then from there, you brought Stefano? Was it Stefano that you brought over from Italy?
Yeah, I was one of the first franchises ever. Yeah, so I mean, literally, they had a shop in. Stefano had a shop on the corner of. It was in Knightsbridge. It was near Harrods. Anyway, on the corner. Okay. And I just wandered in and said, how about it? And I sent that called Carlos.
Because you love clothes, or you saw it as a business opportunity?
Both. I'd lived in Italy for a year, and I'd seen Stefanel over there, and I thought, and Benetton was huge already, and I just thought, okay, this is, actually I thought it was Benetton, but better, just a little bit more unique, a little bit different. So so both. I did love clothes. I love clothes. I can't be bothered, but I love clothes.
Yeah, I hear you, but because on Dragon's Den, you have to wear the same sodding suit for every show. Don't you find that annoying?
No, it's easy. It's lovely. I don't have to make a decision. I just turn up every morning, sit in the chair. They do put on my face, do my hair.
So do you have more than one of those suits?
Yes. Yeah. So I'll have only two, because we've got the fantastic Billy, who looks after our wardrobe. So he's
Billy was on Strictly, wasn't he?
He was Billy.
Really?
That Billy. Isn't he wonderful?
Oh, he's old school amazing, isn't he? So theatrical and camp and adorable. I love him.
And he looks after our clothes on Dragon's Den. So, you can imagine it's all brilliant. It's wonderfully looked after. So I usually have two, maybe three if I've got a very delicate material. Yeah. Maybe two.
And why did you choose the red?
First red. Yeah. I like, so in the early days, I didn't know I was allowed to choose. I've never been on television. I didn't know I was allowed to choose. My cat is about to wander in front of the camera.
That's all right. It all goes on here.
I had no idea. So I went along with it. I don't know why, because I don't go along with anything in life, but I did go along with it. I thought they knew better. And then I thought, actually, you know what? That's not me. So I now choose my own clothes. My own clothes. But I don't really choose. It's funny. I don't really choose colours. I don't really think, oh, this year I'm going to wear. I just see something and think, although it is true, when we have to look right as a set of dragons. So it wouldn't look right if we were both wearing red or, so we do bear that in mind, but I just wear what I want. Because
red,
like the red.
I love, it's one of my favourite colours, red, and I love that kind of proper pillar box red. But it's also, if you look at teams, so let's say Manchester United, not so much at the moment, but their strip is red, and red is a winning colour. It's a very powerful colour. So have you ever used your clothes as armour to protect yourself?
No.
You just smile. Great. And that mouth of yours and the words that come out of it.
No, I'm a little bit. I as soon as I was able to not bother, because actually there are times in your life when there's an acceptable, when you're at a certain level in a business, there's acceptable things that you wear, and you kind of mustn't stand out too much, and you mustn't, So, but as soon as I thought, I don't really care anymore. The only thing I quite like doing is surprising people. I like surprising people.
That keeps you in control.
Really?
Yeah. If you're not surprising people, then they don't know where they stand, do they? So there's always, even if it's just about how you're going to appear.
It's actually, that's probably true. Yeah, slightly off guard. Maybe. That wasn't a conscious decision. I do quite like you weren't expecting that, were you?
No. But I don't believe you don't care, Deborah. I mean, I look at you now, and you've been out horse riding, and you've put on a fabulous kind of papal purple and that wonderful scarf. You must have cared enough to put that on for this. Okay, here we go.
That's my riding joddies. That's the bit that sticks onto the saddle.
Sweaty horse, I can smell you from here.
I've got to tell you, this top is the top. Whenever you see me wearing this is the top that's, I'll just put that on and I'll put the scarf on.
Yeah, but we're both in purple, aren't we?
Yes, you look like that's lovely. That's a lovely colour. I love that colour.
This is a Uniqlo best. It's cashmere.
Lovely.
Uniqlo. So they have the best colours. But Deborah, do you I think probably I know the answer to this, but do you feel frustrated that women have to care more about what they wear in the workplace than men, and men can just sort of, sling on a suit?
Well, you see, I think men do care a lot about what they how they look in the workplace. And funnily enough, I think they have a pretty tough job because they all look the same, but they're all trying to find this way of being a little bit different or standing out or wearing the right thing. So I think they actually care quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I think it's almost easier for a woman because she can actually dresses herself, within, as I was saying earlier, I think it's less so now, but certainly in the days I was coming through business, you wore certain things. It's much more relaxed now, but that kind of, I personally would find it more restricting to have to live within this very narrow confine of what you can and you can't wear, and men live in that most of the time.
Yeah, I do envy you don't have to think about what shoes or tights or jewelry, because it's like there are less items that men can resort to, which simplifies the process.
It does, but don't you think they're a little bit envious of the fact that we get to choose those things? My husband gets really excited over what black tie he's going, and he looks at me with absolute envy because he's like, all I could do is change the colour of my tie.
Yeah.
Actually, he really loves his clothes.
That's so nice. I mean, you should see my husband. I wish he was here. He's sitting at his desk. He's got holes in his sweater. You can smell him before you go in there because he's been out in the woods. So the sort of waft comes through. Holes everywhere. I mean, he's disgusting. He's just like feral. But again, there is that vanity which I applaud, and it's kind of quite tender, I think, male vanity.
Yeah, Paul has always, to be honest, I think he probably takes longer than me to get ready. He's got more body washes and shampoos in his shower than you see. I'm going like this because literally he's got rows of them, way more. I just go in and grab the nearest one. It's usually cedar wood and something's whatever he smells of. So no, he's always taking a lot of care. Although he works in the garden, he's in the vegetable garden, so it's not like he's manicured and won't get his hands dirty. He just likes at the end of the day.
That's so nice. But does he influence on what you wear? Does he kind of say, "Oh, I like that," or does he notice?
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. He never proffers a comment.
Is that because he's learnt that it's best not to?
Well, yeah, but I don't really ask either because I don't know. I don't. No, it's probably because he's learnt. If ever I have asked him, that I've said thank you very much and I'll carry on with what I was doing. There's probably no point. I don't know.
Pay no attention. I mean, you pay no attention. So if he said, "Oh, I like that one better," would you think, "Okay, well, maybe he's got a point"? And
no, he wouldn't say that. The only thing, if he ever said to me, "That's not good," I wouldn't wear it because for him to proffer that, for any comment, it means that it's extreme, or I might put I'm famous for looking okay at the front and then turning around and walking out and thinking, you know that's going on at the back.
You know what, Deborah, I think you and I are sartorially separated at birth because I am so like you. I kind of basically I don't give a shit. And I hate to have to worry about clothes. I hate being put in a position where you do have to worry about clothes. Is that the same with you?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's times when I love getting dressed up, but most of the time, and I do like to look nice, but most of the time I've got other stuff to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I won't put that much time in. It just isn't high enough on my priority list to put the time and the effort into, my mother is amazing.
Really?
She's 84. She gets up, even now, even in lockdown, she gets up every day, full makeup, jewellery, necklace, everything. She must look at me and wonder, how did I spawn this child? How did that happen? She is absolutely awesome. And I look at her with absolute respect and admiration, but I couldn't do it. And I don't want to do it.
But I think that sentiment comes from a level of confidence, self-confidence, because people who do worry too much about their appearance are in most cases deeply insecure. I think you have to have balls to really genuinely not worry too much, which I think you clearly don't.
Yeah. Clearly don't. Why, thank you, Susannah. It was going so well.
Oh, but do you find it, because you and me have I suppose you don't really, I mean, do your boobs get in the way? My boobs get in the way. I just feel I can't ever look sort of fashionable or hip or cool if I wanted to, because my boobs get in the way, because they with menopause, they're just getting bigger and bigger all the time.
And also, I don't know whether it's a natural selection, but all of the style of clothes that I like require flat chests. My sister has no boobs.
Exactly.
She looks fantastic. She puts everything on. We'll go. I never shop. If she ever asks me to go shopping with her, she'll put stuff on. She looks fantastic in absolutely everything. I'm fed up with saying, yeah, no, it's brilliant, buy it, buy them all. Amazing. Yeah. But I just, exactly as you say, I just change the shape of stuff. You know, it just doesn't look the same. So maybe that's why partially I lost interest. Maybe it was just, but I'm, you know.
Yeah, but there's a difference between losing interest and giving up.
Yes,
which you know, you haven't given up. But it's like, if you say that, you think, okay, there's a part of you that goes, well, I can't wear that, so what's the point? And that's giving up. Yeah. Whereas I think you've found, and you know, tell me if I'm wrong, but you've found your silhouette, and you seem to, from what I've seen, always veer towards tailoring, which enhances your womanly shape.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. When I first started Dragon's Den, I did have a stylist, because you know, to go from a world outside of TV and then go on to TV, I'm sorry, nobody has that wardrobe. Nobody, you know, my wardrobe in everyday life wasn't one that was right for my new life. And she was very good, because she made me try different things. But I do think it's fair to say that I probably don't try new stuff anymore, because I found the stuff that works.
Yeah. But then you love, it seems, looking at you now, you seem to love texture and colour. Do you experiment with that?
Yes, I do. And that's probably because I'm blonde. And actually, I'm not a striking person. And there isn't a lot of colour in me. So I think I probably quite like adding that colour. You know, I think that I can feel washed out if I'm just not wearing colour.
So it's about a question of trying not to look like death warmed up, as opposed to standing out because you're, you know, fashionable and fabulous. Yeah.
No, I need colour.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think that the best compliment you can get is, oh my goodness, you look so well?
Yes, because that, you see, that's what you want. That's what I want to do. I don't want my clothes to look amazing. I just want people that you look really well. You know, as long as they don't mean you've clearly been eating too much, because when people say you look really well, it can mean that too. You look well. That's not the same.
Do you have a sort of a clothing comfort blanket of some kind, or is it, you know, a briefcase or a beautiful pen, or no comfort blanket?
No. I never carry a briefcase. I always have one nice handbag, quite small, because I get terrible neck tension. I'm not going to have anything.
Talking about that, me too. Got it so bad.
But I'm not going to put anything ever on my shoulders. It's, you know, a small bag. It has virtually nothing in it. It has the wallet.
But you've still got to hold those mammaries up, which is what I have. So I get marks from. That's neck pain. Yeah,
that's why. That's it. That's why I get the terrible. So don't carry briefcases. The only thing I do, so I don't have a safety blanket at all. What I do use a lot is scarves. You know, so I always find a use for a scarf. You know, if I'm traveling, it might be because I've got to be culturally sensitive. There might be, or it's colder than I thought, or the sun's come out and I don't want to get, you know, I like to have a scarf with me. I always feel like, well, I've got a scarf, I'll be warm and I'll be appropriate.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Scarf covers a multitude of sins, and it just adds something. So I think you're quite right. Okay, so and scarf, that's good.
And it's a cheeky way, or it's an easy way of looking like you've bothered.
Yeah.
Like
now. Oh, look. Make it look like I've actually can be asked for the fact I'm wearing my Jodhpurs and everything else. And then you must have had have you had any clothing pitches from people?
Oh yes, no, in fact I've invested in a fashion business called
really? Which one?
Yeah. They're called Hope and Ivy, couple of fantastic girls. She's a designer. Sarah's a designer, and Beth. Well, they both used to work for ASOS, so they really well connected, really smart, and just lovely, easy to wear. Very much a spring collection, so lots of lovely embroideries and.
I need to look them up.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The lovely maternity. The maternity range is really lovely.
Well, we're not going to be needing that, Deborah. No. But
actually,
we might do with a menopausal tummy.
Right, but we're not going to call it the menopause range. I think the maternity range is slightly.
So Hope and Ivy, that sounds fabulous. I'm going to look them
lovely.
up. Yeah, how brilliant. Deborah, have you had any kind of weird and wonderful clothing pitches?
I've had some not very good clothing pitches. Actually, this last series, we had a couple of really well-presented girls, really, they were clearly smart, and they had a clothing range that was for women going through the menopause to keep themselves nice and cool. And so the thinking, I thought, listen, apparently it was this amazing fabric. It was what it looked like sacks. And she literally stood there and said, so I designed them, and sort of swept her hand down. And you could see all 5 dragons thinking, well, actually, Tuka said it, but it's awful.
I watched that. I mean, we are obsessed with Dragon's Den. We watch it here. And I remember that one. And it was like, yeah, they were sacks, and you're so right when you said this has been designed. What the is going on here? But, it's a difficult thing to invent. I mean, fashion is notoriously difficult to, make money from. Okay, so now, have you, Deborah Meaden, mistress of the corporate world, ever had a wardrobe malfunction?
Oh, in the corporate world?
Oh no, anywhere. Have you had?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, in my desire to be different when I was younger, I bought myself. Really saying it, you'll imagine them. Some pink satin harem pants.
How old were you?
19.
Okay.
Still should have known better.
No.
I still should have known better. And even at the time, when you're buying something and you're buying them because you think that they're going to be, that's going to be, that's their deal. I've never seen those. The reason I've never seen them is nobody will wear them. Never seen those before. So I bought them and I wore them. Once. And I was getting a lot of looks, and I realised it wasn't for the right reason, so I never wore them again.
Okay. But has anything ever let you down? So has anything broken? You got your heel caught in your hem or anything?
No, only on Strictly. Only on Strictly.
What happened?
And that was heel in the hem of the skirt. Okay. And it was on a lift. And as I was coming down, I thought I can't get my other leg down. And it just went through the dress. So I ended up. Did you enjoy Strictly?
You know what? I loved everything about it apart from the dancing.
Oh, that's a bit of an issue.
It's a bit of an issue, and I really genuinely loved the people. I thought all the pro dancers were some of the nicest people I've ever met, and so caring, all of them to everybody, and it was a great production. But yeah, I just froze. I and
I get that.
I couldn't. I was like the sort of love child of a gorilla and an ironing board.
Oh,
that's true. Really, trust me. I'm going to watch yours. I'm going to go back and watch yours now because I bet you were quite good. I'm hearing that you got a lift. I never got a lift. I think poor Anton probably couldn't lift me up.
Yeah, well, I got a little lift, but yeah.
Yeah, a little whoop. So Deborah, how did you find Strictly? Because I'm interested. How did you find Strictly?
I absolutely loved it. I was as terrified as I've ever been. And actually, oddly, I quite like being at my comfort zone. You know, life gets really, if you just keep doing what you know and the stuff that you're really comfortable with, you know, you stop living kind of. And I really liked that fear. I know it's weird, but I did. As terrified as I've ever been, but as joyful. You know, I was doing, I don't know how many hours you were doing, but I was doing 10 to 12 hours a day. And I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. I just wanted to get up and I just wanted to do more training, you know. I went out in week 5 and I'm kind of glad I did because it can start, I think, to become really important, you know, and I just had a fabulous time for 5 weeks and then I went out and now I've got these, you know, wonderful memories of it.
Yeah, yeah. But so what, do you do it because you were already very well known on Dragon's Den by then, but why did you do it? Because it was an amazing opportunity?
Well, so they asked me and I first of all said I'm not sure about this because exactly what you just said, why? You know, why would I do it? And so I sat and had the coffee and talked about it, and I said, I'm not sure. And they said, well, think about it. And I came away and I talked it over with my sister. My sister's my best friend, my older sister's my best friend. And she said, look, Deborah, it's really simple. Do you want to? I said, well, of course I want to. It's Strictly. You know, I mean, I get to learn to dance with the most amazing people and wear amazing clothes and you know, makeup and whatever, amazing. And she said, well, do you know, sometimes in life, that's all it has to be. You don't have to have a reason, just you want to. I thought, okay, you're so right. Why am I looking for, what's my reason for doing Strictly? I want to do it.
Yeah, it's not.
Actually, oddly, and this will sound really weird, but I'm quite protective of my privacy. And that sounds odd. But I think you are as well. You know, I don't know. Some people embrace it. I'm a bit, no, when I'm on telly, but when I'm at home, I'm at home.
So empathise, yeah.
And that was a worry for me. I thought Strictly is actually going to put me in a different place now. But actually, it was a lovely place. So, you know, I didn't have to worry. That was a long answer.
Yeah, that was. But I think that's very true, what you say about the whole kind of celebrity thing. I've never considered myself in that way, and which I think you haven't either, because first and foremost, you have your business. But it's also, you can be on Strictly, you can be the most famous person in the world and still not get noticed. It's just how you present yourself. You know, if you present yourself and you've got that look at me vibe, then people are going to do it. And if you dress like shit, which I do most of the time, people might look and go, is it? And they go, can't possibly be. Do you have anything which is like your sort of birthday parade suit? Is there a dress or a suit or something that will always make you feel $1 million? Please don't say no. I know.
I'm going to, aren't I? You could see that look on your face, couldn't you?
Struggling.
I've got a lovely Jacques Azaguri knee-length dress that I've had for about 12 years. And what it is it's my dress that I know if I haven't got time, if I'm going to an evening event and I haven't got time or I can't find the right dress, I know it's a dress that I can bring out and still feel good in 10 years later. So that, to me, that is worth $1 million because I don't have to worry. I know I can wear my Jacques Azaguri.
Yeah. Do you spend a lot of money on clothes?
No. So in fact, this year I've decided not to buy any clothes at all.
Okay, well done. I did that last year, and I did actually succeed. I did succeed, and it's funny how it's like anything. It's like breaking a habit.
Yeah. And actually, I'm enjoying it. You know, you go back through your wardrobe, and actually, I tell you something it has done for me. It's made me watch my weight.
Really? Okay, that's good.
Because there's some clothes in my wardrobe, you know, over as I've got older, you know, it's £1 a year and just But I've still got lovely clothes, like the Azaguri dress. It's from 10 years ago. Now I've got to, if I think I'm going to wear that, I've got to keep myself within a waistband. So it's actually, it's been great.
Yeah, your dress keeps you in check. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, Deborah. Well, I'm so chuffed to speak to you. Thank you.
And you, I have to say, I've enjoyed. This has been the most fun I've had all week.
And I really wish you lots of luck with Hope and Ivy. Hope and Ivy. I'm going to check it out. And you've been amazing. Thank you so much for taking the time, Deborah.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you. Lovely to talk to you, Susannah.
All right, my darling. I send you a big fat kiss. Mwah.
Bye.